hopefully you have a few for us, but maybe you can share a few memorable stories from your time flying the Tornado.
Yes, you have good times and you have experienced times. Let it say this. Yeah, actually, we had we flew at night, we flew at day. We had day and night refueling. I refueled on nearly every tanker, like even the Victor, the Hercules, which is very slow, KC-135, KC-10. At that time, there were a lot of things, and it's to be very honest, at night, it's not so easy because the illumination, we didn't have LEDs, they have lamps, so you had to look whether you find the tanker with the radar, but of course at a certain time you were not allowed to use the radar as well, and to challenge the closing speed is at night very difficult. A day is already not so easy. You're only allowed to have a, let's say it's a final approach, only 2 to 3 knots before you're at the basket, and 2 to 3 knots flying at 250 is nothing. Yeah? So this is really great. And then I had some others. The NATO doctrine changed in the 90s, and I was lucky. I was on the base in Memmingen, which were the first assigned base for the reaction forces. So we had to react depending on the situation, not only in Germany, but all over the world. Of course, I never went to Afghanistan or so, but at the time, but later on, we had this Yugoslavia. So, and with this becoming this reaction force, we got a lot of additional trainings. So, for example, I was lucky. I shoot myself, not me, of course, and the pilot, but within the airplane, live M9 Limas. You go with 2 aircraft. One have a dummy. You have a dummy and an original one. The dummy is the target. You shoot the target, and the other one going with the M9 Lima to shoot with the M9 Lima on the dummy, and then vice versa. This was great. And I dropped real bombs. Mark 82s in Baumholder is, if you see the waste you're doing there is unbelievable. It was 5 Mark 82s, which are each 250 kilograms. And the debris was, wow. So,
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. And to be very honest, on the bad side, let's say I was always lucky. Yeah? I never had an accident, maybe only very few incidents, but maybe this to tell this how good the airplane is. I got a very young pilot. I was in the beginning of the 90s, and at that time the German did a little bit, the things that we flew a lot with 2 tanks, it's so very heavy, let's say it like this. And at the beginning, you have to be really carefully because the AOA limits, they are not so high. It depends, especially if you do cross controls. Cross controls mean if you use the rudder together with maneuvering. And as it was, the young pilot saw an F4 and reacted, and we slipped directly, and he was even close to eject because we got in a stall, not a flat stall, a normal stall. But the procedure on the Tornado is very, very easy because you just control centerize and hold, just throttles idle, wings forward, and this is the funny part because of the fact that the center of gravity and the center of lift on the Tornado is so close, the aircraft recovers directly by itself. It was unbelievable. Even I think it was at 7,000 or 8,000 feet, and very, very fast. The airplane was stable, and we could fly again. So on the one hand, it was, let's say, a kind of incident. On the other hand, it was very good that the pilot followed. That they said, "Don't touch anything." And as I said, actually, I know very, very few, let's say, accidents where not the crew was, let's say, responsible for the accident. Actually, the Tornado was really safe aircraft.